Today's card is from the Llewellyn Classic Tarot deck, and the artist is Eugene Smith. As you can see, this is a very typical Rider-Waite influenced Fool card. We can see the character there, we can see the red feather often there, which always to me means like the ego or your own personal power. That's what it signifies for me. Then the flower, the white rose there, the bag that he takes with him, his satchel that he takes with him, his companion animal there, usually the dog, and then the risk that he faces, that he's stepping out into. So it's very familiar, and like I do with most of the Fools, when I pick them up I have a look and then I think to myself, where's he going, what's he doing, why is he going there, who's he going to see, what's going to happen when he gets there, is it going to go well for him, is it going to go badly for him, how's he going to respond to that, is he going to turn around and go home, is he going to try and push everything to go his way, is he going to try and influence everyone to adapt to him, is he going to get upset? All of those things, those are the things that we do as people when we hit any kind of situation that we're going into, that we're a little bit new to, and then we react, and then the rest is history. After that, we build the rest of our journey around what happens as a consequence of what we've set up. So when we dress up in the morning and we go out into the world, everything after that is part of the journey and part of our story. So I spent the normal amount of time doing that, which is quite a long time, and then I thought, what am I missing? I really felt this, I completely missed the point somewhere along the way, or missed the essential thing that I wanted to look at. And then I realised he's dressed like a rainbow. He's not just colourful and beautiful and bright and cheerful and looking a bit funny actually. He's dressed like a rainbow, so let's check it off. He's got red, he's got orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo are those lines there, and violet. He's complete, he's a rainbow, he's beautiful. You could put him up as a stained glass window if he was transparent, but he's not. So there he is, and then that started me on another set of thoughts and questions, like, why do you dress up as a rainbow? Why do we dress up as rainbows? Why do we love rainbows so much that we want to actually dress up like this? And I thought one of the things that we do when we dress like rainbows is to signal to other people that we are rainbow people, meaning that we are spiritually inclined, that we understand about chakras perhaps, that we are trying to convey to the world how we feel inside and what we want to share with others, and we want others who are like us to recognize kindred spirit so that we can gather together, and together we can make things better on this world and bring more love into the world. And it's great, but it's one thing to dress like something and it's another one to act like it. And so to be really consistent, we need to align the way that we dress and what we put out in public to others with the way that we actually act. And then we'll know that we are really our authentic self, that we're not just putting on a show to try and impress people, because that is stuck in that red feather area. That is just straight out ego, and it's not true, and sooner or later it will come back to bite us. Because to be real, you know that you wear your colours on the inside, and it doesn't really matter what you show on the outside, because you can actually let your inside rainbow come out through what you do. And you can only do things when you're a human on this world, because when you're in spirit it's too late. So we have to do our thing now. Another thing I noticed was that although the Fool is still here on the precipice and still has a chance of stepping back, it's too late for his shadow. It's gone off the edge and you can't see it anymore. So that got me thinking, Why is it important to have your shadow showing? Why is it important that we see the shadow? If the light's out, we cast a shadow. And that's part of being human. So I thought about it. What does the shadow signify for us? We often only think of shadows being the shadow side of ourselves that we need to work on, and we have to go exploring it even though it makes us feel uncomfortable. And that is important. That's part of our work. But what else do we know about a shadow? How can a shadow benefit us apart from teaching us things? The shadow tells us where we are. It's a compass. Shadow tells us when we are. It's a calendar. And it's also a clock. Those are really important and useful tools for humans to use in our life. It tells us when we garden. It tells us what plants to grow. It tells us what the weather's going to be like, what to expect. All the kind of challenges that we find in our daily lives are largely determined by where we are, when we are, what we're doing. So our shadow really is important in that way to help us as we go through our life. So he needs to perhaps take a little more attention to the shadow. When he steps back from the cliff, then the shadow will grow again. He steps back towards the sun. If he turns around, the shadow will still be there behind him. And as the sun goes down, the shadow will increase in length. So take the shadow with you. Don't leave it behind or don't ignore it. Don't think it's just some hidden part of yourself that you have to look on and it makes you uncomfortable. And you'll somehow become more of a rainbow person if you deal with your shadow. Just accept it because it is something that you need. It's a tool. We all need our shadow because it keeps us here on the earth and it gives us some idea of not only what our purpose is, but what we can do. If we know what the seasons are and we know what the weather is and we know by looking around us what the planet wants, we can take our gloves off and get stuck in and help with that. We have the water inside ourselves through our heart chakra, through the green in our hands. We take the gloves off, unless they're gardening gloves, and bring that human work back to our planet and help her. Bring the water back. Turn around, pick up that little dog. It's tired. It's got its tongue hanging out. It's thirsty. And carry that dog down to where there's water. Use that green to grow things, trees, so that Mother Nature will do the rest. The water in those clouds. And then there'll be mist. And when there's mist, there's rain droplets. And when there's rain droplets, there's rainbows. And that's why the shadow is important. Take it. Learn from it. And let's make things so much better. Thank you.